in these days and times, you know, it'd be music that be out.
Yeah.
It's been out for a while. Sometimes you be driving in your car, Sirius XM, you know, they got these throwback channels and you hear stuff. And you're like, wow, sounds almost like when I first heard it. And it really sounds fresh. And it sounds,
Yeah, it happens.
Happens a lot. So, riding around the other day, heard this joint, and I was like, I wonder if my co-hosts and the rest of the world would wonder if this song is still ill. So, ride along with me.
Yeah.
Twice upon a time, there was a boy who died, lived happily ever after. But that's another chapter, live from Home of the Brave, with dirty dollars, beauty parlors, baby ballers, bowling ball parlors, street scholars, majoring in culinary arts. You know how to work the bread, cheese, and dough from scratch. But see, the catch is you can't get caught. Know what you're selling, what you bought, so cut that big talk. Let's walk to the bridge, meet me halfway. Now, you may see some children dead off in the pathway. It's them poor babies walking slowly to the candy lady. It's looking bad, need some hope, like the words maybe, if, or probably, more than a hobby. When my turntables get wobbly, they don't fall. I'm sorry, y'all. I often drift. I talk in gifts, so when it comes, you never look the horse inside his grill. Of course, you know I feel like the bearer of bad news. Don't want to be it, but it's needed, so what have you. Now question, is every nigga with dreads for the cause? Is every nigga with golds for the fall? No. So don't get caught up in appearance. It's Outcast Aquemini, another black experience.
No bars off.
Ego on the beat. Brooklyn in the building. Shout to ATL. Delaware State alumni. Boardwalk Brown. South Stimuli. What we doing, You're man? Now tuned in to No Bars Off.
Yeah. And you know, I always feel like the bearer of bad news. Bad News Brown here.
Yeah.
Whew.
Wow.
Yeah. To begin a verse saying twice upon a time, there was a boy who died.
Yeah.
And in case y'all don't get that, that's the Gemini. So it's two. Yo. So this is how you're going to set it off.
Twice upon a time, there was a boy who died, lived happily ever after, but that's another chapter. Live from Home of the Brave.
Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, with dirty dollars, beauty parlors, baby ballers, bowling ball parlors. Why does he rap like this?
Son.
Why does he rap like this?
Live from Home of the Brave. Land of the Free, Home of the Brave. So you're in Home of the Brave. But the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah.
With dirty dollars.
Strip clubs.
Beauty parlors.
Everywhere.
Baby ballers.
Yeah, we see those.
Bowling ball parlors.
Wow, the spinning. They spinning.
The paint is even like a bowling ball.
Oh, yeah, the gloss. The
Street
candy.
scholars.
What they do?
Majoring in culinary art.
Why is
your mind like this?
Yeah, I don't, you know what I'm saying?
Street scholars majoring in culinary arts.
You know
how to work the bread, cheese, and dough from scratch, son.
And then keeps going.
But see the catch.
To being a street scholar.
Son. Get the...
Know what you selling, what you bought.
So cut that big talk. Cut it out.
I'm
knocking lights over.
You can. Knock them all over. Let's walk.
What? To the bridge. Meet me halfway. So we're going to be right in the middle. So meet me halfway. Let's walk to the bridge. Meet me halfway.
Yeah. And what you
Now, you may see some children dead off in a pathway.
All right. Now, see. The boy who died.
Yeah.
The Gemini. Touching on. In so many ways, so many layers, but starting this path of the boy who died, the once upon a time and living happily ever after, coming from those. But I'm just saying, once upon a time comes from most of the storybooks that we hear, along with the living happily ever after, and then talks about like leave that alone. That's another chapter. We're live from this place, Atlanta, and breaks down all of these things that characterize
the city,
Atlanta, the city, and then gets into the street scholar which is the drug dealer who majors in culinary arts. That's basically that cook up, but relates it to colloquialisms for that go along with the kitchen, the bread, cheese, dough from scratch. And in the catches, you can get caught, right? From the street life.
Yeah, you can get caught.
And it just says, so cut that big talk.
Cut that.
Right? Let's walk. And on this way, on this bridge, you may see some children dead off in the pathway. It's almost like he's laying out.
Wait a minute, boy.
Right? He's laying out the repercussions and the consequences from this street scholar life.
And then, like, you add that layer to it, but then you have to remember we're in home of the brave, which is Atlanta.
Yeah.
So we can't forget about the Atlanta child murder history.
Yes.
So you can't forget that layer of it. So, and I think in a lot of those scenarios, it was like kids were just vanishing doing regular shit. Like, go take out the trash, don't come back. Go ride take a ride on your bike, don't come back. So we walk into the bridge. Now you may see some children dead off in the pathway. So it's the street scholar life is whether it's
gang
we
life.
got gang life, whether it's we got this serial killer out here stealing kids.
Yeah.
But then to say it's them poor babies walking slowly to the candy lady. It's like now you go to nursery rhyme references because didn't Hansel and Gretel get lured in with candy? Yeah. So that was hot. Like, so it's still like, okay, this I'm still not sure where he's going with this, but to say it's looking bad, I need some hope. Like the words.
Yeah.
Maybe, if, or probably. Listen, I don't think people understand the depth of that statement.
No.
But to say I need some hope, like you don't even want nobody to give you a scenario in which you win. You just need some hope.
Yeah.
Like the words, maybe it'll happen. That gives you hope.
Yeah.
Well, if this happens, that gives you hope. Well, we can probably.
Yeah.
That gives you hope. But I need hope like these words are hope.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part. He said he needs hope, but these words in themselves are hopeful. Just maybe if and man.
I mean, I envision whether it was poor babies, whether it was somebody addicted walking slowly to the candy lady, like going to get that fix that you can't help it. You can't help it, right? And in that instance, you're hopeless.
Yeah.
So you would need these words, but to graphically paint the picture of the words in the sentence that would signify hope.
That's what I'm saying.
In 1996.
1990. Yeah, this is 96.
It's pretty crazy. The words maybe if or probably. More than a hobby. When my turntables get wobbly, they don't fall. I'm sorry.
And then he realized he's like, okay, I may be losing y'all. He's like, I'm sorry, y'all. I often drift. I talk in gifts, but when it comes, you never look the horse inside his grill. Now, I'm saying I'll go as far as to say that 85% of listeners are gonna completely miss that. Look the horse
idiom?
inside his grill. Yeah.
The gift horse in the mouth.
Never look a gift horse in the mouth.
I mean, I feel like that idiom is old. And
it's very old.
Nobody.
And that's what I'm saying. For him to use it.
Yeah.
But for to use it not in just a conversational, like we talking and I say, you never look a gift horse in the mouth. Yeah. To put that in song in a genre that more than likely doesn't really reference that term often.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean? When you're talking gifts, I never look a horse inside his grill. Like, what do you mean by that? And this is where you get he don't be talking about nothing. What is he talking about?
I mean, I don't know if you can say that, but
bro,
yeah.
Of course, I feel like the bearer of Bad News Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to be it, but it's needed. So what have you? Now here's the question.
And this is a very interesting question. Because I never would have imagined the world we're in today where this this question flipped on its head.
It flipped on its head.
At this time, if you had locks in your hair,
That was a symbolism of unity, strength.
Yes.
Like black man.
it was righteous. It was
Yeah.
it was almost if you rapped and you had locks.
Yeah.
I was I know what you about. I know what we about to hear. We about to hear some righteous, some conscious,
Listen.
some black power, some go back to Africa.
Yeah.
And at this time, I feel like the line was drawn in the sand because as Bad Boy, as Jay-Z, as all of this, the superficial stuff emerged, everything else was
Shiny
kind
suit
of
era.
the shiny suit era. Everything else was kind of being put on the other side. And before DMX's emergence, there was definitely this line in between where the Clue tapes no longer had KRS and Redman and hip hop like Dead Prez and all that was over there.
Yeah.
Now it was if you wasn't talking about that shit, it
We don't
was
wanna hear
it was drugs, guns.
Yeah.
It was over here. So I'm painting a picture that dreads, what he called them, for the cause, meaning the black cause, the movement, is everything with gold for the fall.
Gold for the fall.
So if you had gold teeth in your mouth,
Or just gold in general.
just
But yeah,
gold
but
in
definitely
general.
gold teeth. It was, he's a hood.
was-
He ain't down for the cause. He ain't trying to build a black community. Yeah.
if you ain't saying something I could get my mind into, right? It was always that's how we viewed it.
And then he answered it for you
No,
and said no. So don't get caught up in appearance.
and foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Years later, and I want to say I promise I believe it started with Pac-Man Jones. I feel like it did. But once locks infiltrated the NFL and you saw the locks under the helmets, I feel like the South, Miami in particular, ran with it and it got away from this whole
it just took off.
conscious.
It just
Yeah,
took off.
it was more of a style and it got away from locks being
Trying
like
to think who.
think
back
about
as
it.
Far back as like locks. Trying
Think
to think
about
of them old University of Miami teams. Because, you know, they kind of
Think
started
about
that.
it. When I seen dudes with locks eating pork chops, I was like, oh, wait a minute. Because you automatically assume, you know what I'm saying, dudes was righteous, didn't eat pork, whatever. And then you was like, oh, nah, this just.
Bean pie, my brother.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
it
I don't know.
flipped.
Yeah,
It totally
turned
flipped.
into
And then it got to, what was that, Mark for Death? When
Oh,
when the two
you know what they mean when they say a man face is screw?
with Screwface and
Sorry.
they had the locks.
Yeah, that
I
was
feel like stuff
They had
like that.
Jamaican gangs called posses on the movie.
I feel like it made people be like, you know, one white boy versus two. Like
Sorry.
it made people want to be that, and it kind of flipped. But
Yeah, but the question,
yeah,
20 years later,
yep,
it's flipped on its head. And now it's every nigga with dreads for the call. Now it should be it's every nigga with dreads for the fall.
for the fall, right?
And it's every nigga with gold for the cause.
Yeah, it's different.
So, but now it's
Yeah.
but either way, it's no. So
Either way, it's no.
either way,
So don't get caught up in the
don't
appearance.
get caught up in appearance.
Yeah.
Southcast equipment now. Another black experience.
Wow.
Man.
Yeah.
Sheesh. I don't even want to get into his second verse on that.
You know,
Even though it was a short one. My mind warps and bends, floats the wind, count to 10, meet the twin, Andre Ben, welcome to the Lion's Den. Original skin, many men comprehend. I extend myself so you go out and tell a friend. Sin all depends on what you believe in. Faith is what you make it. That's the hardest shit since MC Ren. What? Man.
oh man,
Alien can blend right on in with your kin. Look again, because I swear I spot one every now and then. It's happening again. Wish I could tell you when. Andre, this is Andre. Y'all are just going to have to make amends. Listen. That's the hardest shit since MC Ren is the craziest shit I heard in that verse. Son,
Yeah, the way he just flipped.
the way he
in
set that
there,
up, ooh.
Like, why would you say that?
Faith
The
is what,
hardest
sin all depends on what you believe in. Faith is what you make it.
shit.
And that's the complete opposite of faith. You go NWA. Faith is what you make it, but you say that's the hardest shit since MC Ren? Son. Andre, man.
It's him and I, Aquemini. Twice upon a time, there was a boy who died and lived happily ever after. But that's another chapter, live from home of the brave, with $30, beauty parlors, baby ballers, bowling ball and parlors, street scholars, majoring in culinary arts. You know how to work bread, cheese, and dough from scratch. But see, the catch is you can get caught. Know what you're selling, what you bought, so cut that big talk. Let's walk to the bridge, meet me halfway. Now you may see some chillin' dead off in the pathway. Just them poor babies walking slowly to the candy lady. It's looking bad, need some hope like the words maybe. If, or probably, more than a hobby. When my turntables get wobbly, they don't fall. I'm sorry y'all, I often drift. I'm talking gifts, so when it comes, you never look the horse inside his grill. Of course you know I feel like the bearer of bad news. Don't wanna be it, but it's needed, so what have you? Now question, is every nigga with dreads for the cause? Is every nigga with goals for the fall? No, so don't get caught up in appearance. It's Outkast Aquemini, another black experience.
96 was a good year.
Listen,
Apparently.
it was a very good year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we appreciate y'all. I know some of these still ills we're doing, people have never heard this stuff.
That is crazy.
It's
to think that there's an era or a
it makes
generation
sense.
of children
It makes sense.
that haven't heard this kind of stuff. I always said there's a disservice being done because there's a generation of kids that will only know
Yeah.
Tariq Trotter as the guy from Jimmy Fallon as opposed to the legendary Black Thought from the legendary Roots crew.
Hey, listen. They know Ice-T from Law and Order,
Listen,
LL from what's the show he on?
was that not CSI?
CSI?
Is it CSI?
Yeah. Or what's something? I don't know.
What's
NCIS.
Yeah,
NCIS.
yeah, whatever.
Just making stuff up.
FBI, NCAA.
Inside the NBA on ESPN. You only know Charles Barkley from that.
Yo, so,
Charles Barkley used to rap.
yo,
All right. Thank you. Thank you for
appreciate
being
y'all,
here.
man. Don't mind us.
No.
Like, comment, subscribe,
Yeah.
judge us.
Please.
Let us know if this is dope or not.
Yeah.
Might not be. You
Yeah.
might not like it.
Yeah, we
we
might
don't
be tripping.
know.
We might be tripping.
We might be tripping. But hey, this is why we ask. We leave it up to y'all.
Let us know if it's still leave something in the comments. Subscribe, become a barbarian today.
Hey, get your
Blessings.
shirt.
Blessings.
Get your
Enjoy.
merch.